But of that day or hour, or that hour, no one knows. Not even the angels in heaven. Now notice, no one knows means no man, right?
Yeah.
Because if he meant no one, including everyone, then he wouldn't have to mention angels, right?
Yeah.
So no one knows means no man knows. Not even the angels in heaven. Now, as far as creation is concerned, both Christians and Muslims believe in creation, and that creation includes spirit creatures and human creatures, right?
Yeah.
So when Jesus says no man knows, no angels, that means no creature, right?
Uh-huh.
Where is he in this list?
But
Where did he
still,
put him?
okay, according to if Jesus is God, still he didn't know the hour.
You didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
Where is he in this list? Because if he doesn't know the hour, then it means he's got to be a creature. Then why is he not part of the angels or humans? He's separate from them, and he's the son to the Father. He's connecting
Okay.
himself to the Father. Why didn't you see that?
Yeah, okay, he's above angels and the creatures.
So wait, if he is separate from angels and humans, that means he's separate from every creature. You just proved he can't be a creature then. Make up your mind.
I get that. Okay. Jesus is God. I get that. You
Okay,
proved
but
that.
hold on before you get it. The Father is said here to be the Father of the Son. That means the Father and Son have a unique relationship that no other
Mm.
creature has. So notice in this list, he's the Son to the Father. He's on the Father's side. He's not on the side of angels or humans.
Okay.
So even if I didn't have an answer for you, which I did 10,000 hours of explanation, I'm not going to go over it again. I still am left with a paradox that this Jesus is not merely human because he just placed himself above all angels and humans, meaning all creation, and he placed himself along God, the Father, as his son in a unique way.
But
So when are you
still
going
it
to leave this
does
up?
but it still doesn't prove Jesus is all knowing. Okay, I get it.
Yes,
He
it
has
does,
some
because I can
elevated
show you.
elevated
Hold
yes?
on. I'll show you. The
Okay.
same Bible says he is all knowing, man. You can't take pick and choose. Here, yes. The same Bible says he is all knowing. Hold on, buddy. I'll get there. Shoot. All right. Take it easy, man. So it's for us, it's not either or, it's both and we've tried to struggle to explain it because the Bible doesn't explain it. But we don't deny any parts of the Bible. We accept it all. Here, Matthew 24:36 and Mark 13:32. Oops. All right. But no one knows of that day and hour, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Okay. Mark 13:32 says the same thing. Nor the Son, but only the Father. All right. But here, same Matthew earlier quotes Jesus saying this: all things have been delivered to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father. Neither does anyone know the Father except the Son, and he to whom the Son desires to reveal him. Now, notice, it says no one knows the Father except the Son. Now, he's not saying people can't know there's a God and know some things about him. Even the Jews knew there's a God and knew he's merciful. What he means is no one can comprehend the Father, right?
Okay.
So now you would agree that God the Father is infinite, omniscient, beyond comprehension, right?
Yeah.
But why does Jesus say no one knows him except the Father? What is he assuming here?
No
Because he
one
says
knows.
it's reciprocal, right? Just like no one knows the Father, no one knows me. And just like only the Father knows who I am, I alone know who he is, which is why you need me to make him known. What did he just claim here?
Yeah, yeah, but this is not explicitly saying that Jesus knows everything. It's
Yes, it
just saying
does. If you're
he
patient.
know the Father, he know
Yes,
as
it
a
does. If
person.
you're patient,
Yeah.
because I'm going to ask you, does the Father know every thought the Son has?
The Father knows every thought that the Son
Every
has.
everything the Son knows. Does the Father knows what the
Yeah,
Son
because
knows?
he's all knowing,
No, that's not my
supposedly.
question. Take it easy, man, because you just buried you, but you're not listening. If the Father knows the Son inside and out, he knows everything about the Son and every information that the Son has in his mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the Son says he knows the Father the way the Father knows him. So is there a thought that the Father has that the Son doesn't know?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Does the Father knows something the Son doesn't know, because he says it's reciprocal here. He goes, no one knows the Son except the Father. And we know the Father knows everything the Son knows him inside and out. But then he says, likewise, no one knows the Father except me. So is there a thought that the Father has that the Son would not know?
Okay, I get that verse, but can you
Yeah, hold
show
on.
me any?
Yeah, I'll get to where he's all knowing. So is one of the thoughts that the Father has in his mind the thought, the knowledge of the day and hour?
Yeah, okay. Yes,
All
he
right, so
didn't
you
have.
just proved he does know it.
Okay. Is there
So
any clearer
yeah, I'll get
verse
you a clear
for
one.
this?
This is clear enough in itself if you're listening, because hold on. Which
Ab-
creature can say, no one knows me except God, and no one knows God except me? Meaning, I know God the way God knows me, and only God can figure me out, like I'm the only one who can figure him out. That's why you need me.
okay.
Can a creature say this?
No, I guess not in that context.
Jesus said it. And notice again, he's the Son and God is the Father, and he's been trusted with everything of the Father. But here, I'm going to make it clear to you. Hold on. You want it clear, okay? But I was trying to show you from the fact the same gospels you're quoting tell us it's both of the day and hour. He didn't know. Why? Well, we can spend 10 hours explaining it, but he does know everything, because we believe he's God, man, God and man, God who became man. So there's a mystery there that we're trying to figure out, but
No,
we don't
okay.
reject it. You want
Okay, I get it. You're going to show me that Jesus is God, and it
no,
ultimately
that's not,
solves
no,
that.
you don't get it. No, be patient, brother. I haven't gotten to the evidence. You keep thinking you know the evidence I'm going to show you. No, you don't know. Just be patient. I'll show you.
Fine.
Same John, who wrote the Gospel of John, wrote the letter of John. Here, I'm going to show you, brother. Here you go. 1 John 3:20. Okay, here you go. Because if our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart and knows all things. So here means God knows all things, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to say Jesus is God and just
No,
ultimately prove
no,
that
man. See,
thing.
if you're patient, they say, Jesus, you know all things. No, you don't know what I'm going to show you. Be patient, man.
I'm patient. Okay.
Okay, John 16:25-31. I have spoken these things to you in figures of speech, but the time is coming when I will no more speak to you in figures of speech, but will tell you plainly about the Father. Notice, I'm going to speak plainly, not parables. Okay? And
Hmm.
that day you'll ask in my name, and I don't say to you that I will pray to the Father for you, for the Father himself loves you because you have loved me, and I believe that I came from God. I came from the Father and have come into the world. Again, I leave the world and go to the Father. Notice, I'm going to speak plainly, not parables. So you can't say, oh, it's allegorical, ta'wil. No, his disciples said to him, behold, now you are speaking plainly, and you're not using a figure of speech. Now we know that you know all things and don't need anyone to question you. We don't need to test you to see if you know. We're now convinced you know all things, the very thing that John said about God. And did Jesus rebuke them? Shame on you, astaghfirullah, ya kafir. By this we believe that you came from God. Jesus answered them, do you now believe? Finally?
Okay. Okay, get it. But what is the meaning of that verse then? Don't know the hour.
Do you want me to spend another 10 hours explaining? I did sessions, man. There are two ways to understand it. But here, John 21:17. Now, this was before he died. He's on earth, right?
Yeah.
After the resurrection, after he rose again, does he still know everything? John 21:17. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you have affection for me? Peter was grieved because he asked him a third time, do you have affection for me? He said to him, Lord, you know everything. You know that I have affection for you. In other words, you don't even ask me. You already know what I know and feel. Jesus
Hmm.
said to him, feed my sheep. So Matthew says Jesus knows everything the Father knows and knows the Father completely,
Hmm.
which is something impossible for a creature because no creature can know an infinite mind. And then in Matthew, Jesus says, no one can know me because I'm beyond comprehension, which is why only the Father can know me, because you need to be omniscient to know me. So if the Father knows the Son the way the Son knows the Father, and the Son knows the Father the way the Father knows the Father knows every thought the Son has, which means the Son knows every thought the Father has. And one of those thoughts is the knowledge of the day and hour. That was evidence number one. Number two, Jesus on earth knows everything before and after he rose from the dead. So if I read the Gospels, it's not either or, it's both and. It's all of the above, because he's not just God, he's also man. So before
Okay.
you move on, what about Mark? Does Mark show that Jesus has the knowledge and the ability that God has? Yeah, here, let's go here. Because this is where even the Quran's going to come in. But hold on. Mark 2, 5-12. Jesus, seeing their faith, said to the paralytic, Son, your sins are forgiven you. But there were some of the scribes sitting there, reasoning in their hearts. Now notice, they thought this in themselves. They didn't verbalize it. Why does this man speak blasphemies like that? Who can forgive sins but God alone? Exactly, because even the Quran says this, and I'm going to show you. Immediately, Jesus, perceiving in his spirit, did you catch it? In his spirit, not in his flesh, right?
Yeah.
The word became flesh. That means his humanity. When you have reference to in his spirit, God is spirit, it means his divinity, his divine nature. You with me so far? Okay, now watch. Immediately in his spirit, he knew that they so reasoned within themselves, said to them, why do you reason these things in your hearts? He knew what they were thinking in their hearts immediately when they thought it. In his spirit, when the Bible wants to talk about his humanity, it says flesh. When it talks about God's nature as God, it says spirit. John 4:24, God is spirit.
Okay.
So as God, he knows every thought they have, the moment they have it. Which is easier to tell the paralytic, your sins are forgiven, or to say, arise and take up your bed and walk? Now watch what he did not say. So that you may know the Father has revealed to me, this man is forgiven. That's not what he said. That you may know that the Son of Man has this authority on earth to forgive sins. I'm going to do this miracle, which you can't deny. He said to the paralytic, I tell you, arise, take up your mat, and go to your house. He arose and immediately took up the mat, went out in front of them all, so that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, we never saw anything like this. So notice three things Jesus does. He heals a man of his disease to prove, secondly, to prove he has the power to forgive sins on earth. And thirdly, he knows what you're thinking in your heart. Now watch the Old Testament. Won't God search this out? For he knows the secrets of the heart. Psalm 44:21. Notice Jesus forgives sins and heals diseases. Psalm 103, 2-3. Praise Yahweh, my soul. Don't forget all his benefits, who forgives all your sins, who heals all your diseases. And then 1 Kings 8:39, what does God do in heaven? What Jesus did on earth. Then here in heaven, your dwelling place, forgive while you're in heaven, act and give to every man according to all his ways, whose heart you know, for you, even you only know the hearts of all the children of men. So like Yahweh, Jesus knows the thoughts of your hearts. Like Yahweh, Jesus forgives sins.
Yeah.
Like Yahweh, Jesus heals diseases. And it's not that the Father gave him authority to say, hey, you're healed. He says, no, this miracle should convince you, I, the Son of Man, have power to forgive sins. But they were right. Only God has that power. So God can tell you to tell him he's forgiven. But you can't say, I have authority to forgive your sins. Because even the Quran agrees. So Mark began by telling you Christ knows all thoughts, all hearts, and does what only God can do, forgive sins. So let's ignore Mark chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and jump to Mark 11. I'm sorry, Mark 13. So if I read Mark from the beginning, by the time I got to Mark 13, Mark has gone out his way to show me that Jesus is God in the flesh, Son of the Father, one with the Spirit. That means the last thing he wants me to conclude is that Jesus is claiming not to be God when he says that their hour is known only to the Father. That's not how you interpret Mark or Matthew. So here it is. Does the Quran agree only God can forgive sins? Black and white, mister. 3:135. And those who, when they do an evil thing or wrong themselves, remember Allah and implore forgiveness for their sins, who forgiveth sins save Allah only. So the Jews were right. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Mark has Jesus doing a miracle that they saw to confirm that the Son of Man has the power to forgive sins, which is something only God can do. So what did Jesus just prove?
Yeah, got it. He's God, all knowing.
So then why would you then? So Mark 13:32, there's two ways of answering that, man. Either way is good because I don't know the answer. Why? Because they don't give me the answer. In other words, I don't have Matthew here saying, hey, Matthew, explain that. Because you just began by telling me Jesus is God. If he's here, I can ask him for the answer, but he's not here. Hey, Mark, how do you explain it? So no matter what answer I give you, it's an attempt to explain what the writers did not explain. They didn't explain it. So there's two ways. One way is to say that while on earth, Jesus, in his human mind and conscience, because again, if you understand Christian teaching, which we get from the Bible, Jesus is truly human. Well, he can't be truly human if he doesn't go to sleep, if he doesn't eat, if he doesn't get tired, he doesn't grow. And would he be truly human if, as a man with a human mind, he knew everything?
Okay.
What human being can know everything?
No one.
So if he's truly human, can he know everything?
No.
So that's why we have no problem. Jesus, who is not just God. See, everyone emphasizes, well, he's God. Yeah, but he's man as well. He deliberately became man to experience the full human experience, to live a full human life, which means he had to be born. Otherwise, he's not human. He had to grow. He's not human. He had to eat, or he's not human. He has to learn, or he's not human. That's one aspect of him. So one possible way of understanding this, again, it's a possibility, is that as a man with a human consciousness, in his waking consciousness, he only recalls that which needs to be recalled and stated and revealed. Meaning, even you as a human being, this is a medical fact, you have a lot more knowledge on a subconscious level than you do in your waking consciousness. You have a subconscious mind. God created your mind so complex. You have layers. There's a layer of your mind in which everything you've done since you came out of your mother's womb till now is stored, but you don't have access to it. But sometimes it comes to your consciousness. Why? You'll remember something when you're a child. Where do you think that came from? Your subconscious mind. Yeah. That's why if they hypnotize you, they can tap into your subconscious mind and everything there comes out. But when you awake, you don't recall it. How's that possible, dude? How is it you, a creature with one nature, I can hypnotize you, tap into your subconscious mind, and everything comes out. You remember everything. Then I wake you, and you don't remember a single thing you just said. But that's a fact, right? You're not going to deny this is a fact.
Yeah.
Fine. So then why would you be shocked? Now you have a man. As a man has layers of consciousness, a waking conscious and a subconscious mind. Even in that aspect, there are things in his consciousness that he doesn't access or have access to on a deeper subconscious level. He would know a lot more on a subconscious level in his waking conscious. And then you add to the fact he also has a divine nature and he has a divine mind that's omniscient. And you understand how perplexed and confusing it's going to be?
Yeah.
So the simple answer would be that in his waking consciousness, being a perfect man who will not recall everything on a conscious level, that even on a subconscious level, right, he would have access to, he doesn't know the their hour. It's not because that knowledge is not there. It's there in his inner being, in his inner person, even as God, who's omniscient, but also possibly even as a man in his subconscious level, he would have that information. Because notice what I said. You as a man, your conscious mind knows things, but it does know everything your subconscious mind knows. But it's not two minds, it's one mind in you that has layers. So in his waking consciousness, he only has access and recalls that which the Father wants him to recall and have access to. How does it work? I don't even know how it works in me and you, let alone in a God-man. That's one possible answer. So that's it. But it doesn't deny that he does in all things. Because I just showed you the same Gospels you've been quoting shows he knows everything. He knows all hearts. He does what only God can do. All right. Just like you cannot deny, you a human creature, you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, not two minds, but one mind that is complex and has layers. No one denies that humans on a subconscious level retain all their experiences that their conscious mind does not have access to. So if that's true of you and me, and we're finite, why are you shocked that when you confront someone who's God in the flesh, he's going to be more complex, more mind-blowing, more confusing to your 3-pound brain?
Got it. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
So I went with that interpretation because I know a lot of people don't like the other interpretation, that of the day or hour, no one knows, meaning no one can make it known. Neither the angels can make it known, nor the Son, but the Father alone, because they'll say, oh, well, in the context, it can't mean that. But yeah, it can, but I don't need to argue that.